Also, let's take a look at some of these market conditions here in a second. The market is currently falling once again. Pretty big drops today. Good morning. You can tell right now Bitcoin ain't looking too good. Bitcoin dropped right below our support here, getting closer back to where we was at around that 72.6. You also got XRP doing a very similar pattern here on the 15-minute. You guys can tell we've had some major moves just within the last few hours. Good morning, Eugene. Good morning, Homestead. Right now, everything is dropping. Right now, everything doesn't look good at all. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out the stream. Let me know what you all think, because right now we are stair climbing back down. We are retesting this level here that we had seen the other day. That could send $1.50 XRP. If we drop below that, we are going to be more bearish. Same with Ethereum. So Ethereum is actually lower today than it was the other day. So that is huge. So you got to think about that. Ethereum is lower than it was the other day. Same with Solana. XRP and Bitcoin is really the only thing that's really kind of holding up. Right now on the 4-hour daily and the 1 hour, we've not dropped below what we was at the other day. So that's something to kind of take into consideration. H-bar didn't dump nowhere near as much as what is expected. Same with Trump. You know, we had that double top here. This double top kind of hit the standard for a lot of people. Solana taking a big drop down today, though. Over a 5.78% loss, which is huge. For day trading right now, I've been using Crypto.com, BTCC, BitUnix. Everything will be down below. Ultra Super Joe. Yeah, right now the whole market is looking a little rough. You know, it's bouncing back and forth. Looking for some plays. I'm looking for some plays here. I do think that we're going to see a potential long position here soon. It's just going to take a few. It's going to take a few. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is just entertainment purposes only. Right now, Solana's still down. Same with XRP. Looks like it's got that doji candle here. Not looking too good. Yeah, I think everybody's waiting on a big catalyst to happen. I don't think we're going to see as big of a catalyst as what we expect. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. I'm trying to take a look and see if we're seeing any well activity. I don't know if we're seeing any major well activity or not. I know that we're seeing some news on the United States, Europe, and Japan. That's going to be trying to do a 30-day strengthen critical mineral supply chains. That's probably the biggest thing we've seen today. They also rescheduled the CPI report to February 13th. They also rescheduled the job employment to February 11th. You also can see today gold has fallen roughly around 1%. Silver is currently up around 1% on the daily. Yeah, gold's trending around 4,900, getting closer back to that $5,000 range. Silver is at that $86. I think right now everybody is just got a lot of fear into the market. I mean, if you really take a look at the overall crypto market, that's what we're seeing here. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you do take a look at the liquidations. The liquidations within the last 24 hours have liquidated roughly around 175,000 traders, right around $826 million in 24 hours. That is around $645 million worth of longs liquidated and $181 million in longs liquidated. So that's something to pay attention to. Also, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index indicating the lowest fear that we've had in quite a while. This is going to be comparing it to March of 2025 and the big drop that we had seen in November 22nd and 25. We're currently at 14. This is going to be coming all the way until around November. So we could be going even lower on the Fear and Greed Index. We are currently in extreme fear, so you got to pay really close attention to that. The cryptocurrency market cap is trending right around 2.49 trillion. You can see back on April 4th of 2025, we hit that 2.49 trillion, which is exactly where we are today. You know, we hit that 2.42. We're getting super closer to it. You know, we're getting ready to have a lower market cap in cryptos than we've had in the last 365 days, which is huge. Still currently in Bitcoin season though, so that's something else to pay attention to. Yesterday we had over negative $272 million in Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin dominant still around 58.9, and Ethereum's at 10.3%. Other altcoins are starting to kind of move on their own, so that's something that we do have to pay attention to on the long term and the short term. I do think we're getting closer here on the 15-minute to where we was at the other day. Dropping below this support could mean a lot more bearish activity. Even if you take a look at stocks are a hit or miss today. S&P 500 is down 0.56%. You have some stocks like Microsoft, Apple, GameStop, Disney, currently in the green, but a lot of stocks are currently down. If you take a look at AMD is down 16%. Yesterday, PayPal had fallen over 20%, like you guys can see here. We've had some major drops within the crypto market, within stocks, and within gold and silver. So precious metals are also seeing a little bit of a drop as well, as a lot of people are starting to kind of hold cash. Bitcoin does look like it's currently dropping right now. It's getting closer to back where we was at the other day, where we seen that $72,000 low. So that's something that you do have to pay attention to, because we start dropping below these support lines here, we're more than likely going to see another retest and a big drop very, very quickly here. If you are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section or the live comments. Let me know what you all think. Do you guys think we're going to see a little bit of bearish activity today? I do think the market is turning around. We're either going to see a bounce here soon, or what we're going to see is another big drop before the next bounce. But that 82,000, 84,000 Bitcoin is still within play. Same with the $1.70, $1.80 XRP. Right now we're having just super negative catalyst. So it's really playing a major factor in a lot of investments. Yeah, I would like to see us stay above this $1.50 XRP. I don't really want to go down below it. Going below it and holding could mean negative price action here on the short term. A lot of cryptos are seeing major drops already below their support lines, so that could be an indication that Bitcoin XRP may also see another decline here. The whole market right now is volatile. You got a lot of people panicking, but this is times where money is to be made within these kind of markets. You know, we're still currently probably in crypto winter. Yeah, it looks like Solana dropped bad today, around 6.8%. Looks like it's the biggest of all the altcoins on my watch list. Yeah, it just looks like right now the volume isn't doing too well. Search history's down all around. Google AdSense, everything is seeing massive drops with it. Would love to see it kind of break out. Right now we are just waiting, getting closer down to this support. The support's really what's going to matter. Liquidations are pretty high. I say we'll get higher up in the liquidation area today of around 1 billion. Once we start to see some major moves in either direction. Even stocks are down today. Precious metals, gold 1%, silver is up 1%. Having a very volatile week this week. I still expect some moves. I expect some big trades coming in. I see some well activity that'll probably come definitely around that 1 to 2 o'clock range like we've seen the last few days. Michael Saylor's position is currently down over $1 billion today too. So that's something else to take a look at. Because right now his investments are currently down quite a bit. If you guys are just now tuning in, hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Or if there's any cryptos you want me to take a look at. Looks like Dash is now below that $40. Chainlink down below 10, getting closer to below that $9 range, which is huge. It's a little lower than Ethereum Classic in price. Even if you take a look at Shiba Inu is also getting ready to get down to some previous lows that we have seen the other day. Solana tanked right below its support, though, around that 95.53. It bounced off of it yesterday, though. It's dropped quite a bit today compared to other cryptos. Same with Ethereum. Solana and Ethereum's taking a massive drop today. Ethereum's down roughly, let's see, yeah, roughly around 58% just within the last 165 days. Ethereum has been struggling to hit all-time highs and stay above its all-time high from the previous bull runs. If you take a look at Bitcoin, too, from the all-time high to currently where we're at a 42% drop within just 4 months, within 120 days. Looks like Solana's coming down now. Solana's taking another big hit. Pretty big sales. Look like some well activity there coming down on it. XRP's holding strong. With it being Wednesday today, currently lunchtime, I say we're not seeing much volatility though. It's all going to be based off of catalysts. Yeah, I do think Bitcoin's going to go closer to that 67,000 if it continues here. If you really take a look at the daily chart, you zoom out a little bit, you can see we're currently getting closer to hitting lows that's over in this area. More than likely going to try to fill this gap closer to 61,000. I was kind of hoping what we would see is going to be a movement like this where you can kind of see a long-term head and shoulders. This would be best case scenario, getting back closer to that $84,000 to $90,000 range before hitting the other targets. We've successfully hit target 1. If you've watched my videos within just the last 3 to 4 days, you'll see that I've had the support lines and the targets and the target 1 and 2. You'll see that we're currently on target number 1, getting ready to drop down below it. Once we get into this area, I think it's going to be super choppy. We might go even weeks around this area here, and we may see it drop very suddenly like we have seen it here just within just the last 7 days. Seeing it drop over 20%. That's what people's not realizing. Within 7 days, Bitcoin has dropped over 20.5%. You're seeing altcoins doing the same thing as well. Some altcoins dropping much more than others. If you take a look at Cardano, Cardano's down almost 80% from the all-time high. 71% loss in 176 days, which is huge. You can see we bought and sold Cardano, made around 44% profit. If we would have held this same buy position, we would currently be at a 52% loss, but we sold it for 44% profit. We used analysis, caught it all the way down. Ever since we sold it, the position has lost over 66%. Yeah, Homestead, I've not really heard about that crypto any. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Hitting that like button really helps the stream, also helps the community grow. Comment down below. Let me know what you all think, because right now everything is getting super high in the market. I still think we got a lot of opportunity for the upside and the downside. So many people are trading back and forth. You can even see Ethereum's getting ready to drop below that $2,100 range. XRP is getting super close to our support. We're either going to bounce off of these supports with Bitcoin and XRP, or we're going to drop like Ethereum and Solana, and we're going to see another 2 to 3% drop very, very quickly. So that is something that we have to pay attention to. It's all going to be based off of timing. Yeah, you can see right here, though, the market ain't holding up too good. Bitcoin 53K. I mean, if you take a look at like the weekly chart on Bitcoin, I mean, it really does look like a head and shoulders pattern. You know, it's looking super close to a head and shoulders. You know, I mean, that's why sometimes I think it's going to try to rebound closer to that 100,000. I mean, it can drop. It can become choppy. It become choppy here as well. Made a double top, broke out to that shoulder. Got to think it hit it twice here within the week, coming back down. Could be an indication of a pretty big drop down to around the 52, 51,000s like you mentioned, back into this area. If we kind of clear this area here, we will more than likely see a further crash. But getting back to this level here like we've seen in 2024 is going to be very difficult. You know, back in 2024, we didn't really have as many catalysts or news happening on crypto that could cause, you know, regulation issues, that could cause other factors like price action, government purchasing, and so forth. A lot of that stuff could play into a major factor here. If you take a look at XRP, you can see that we crossed the moving average. You can also see on the weekly chart, my indicator has recently said sell. We made over 314% on it, and you can see that it's still currently starting to fall. We did cross on the moving averages on the weekly on November 17th, 2025, and ever since then we've been on the downside as well. So I do think that there's potential for a bigger drop here. The 142 is going to be a huge support for the weekly. On the daily here, we are looking like we're retesting this area here. Getting back down closer to that 30-cent range would be something that is very hefty. Over 473% gain, 94 days here. Had some gains here, around 3%. Then we had more here, around 36%. And we're catching the trends, as the trend here on the hourly chart is also indicating a lot of shorts and longs liquidations. There's a lot of high leverage players right now and a lot of leverage to be took out. So that's something that we're also seeing within the market. What this usually indicates here, this kind of pattern here, is going to be retesting this support, dropping below this support. Will send us down to that 142 at least. But we could go down further much quicker. Like you see here on Solana, it broke its support. So you can kind of see it kind of flagged just like it, dropped below the support. Ever since it's lost the support here, it's lost around 6%, which is what I would expect with XRP, getting down closer to that 142 to that 141. So that's something that we have to pay attention to as we're starting to kind of trade around a little bit. Let me know what your all's predictions are in the chat here. Let me know what you all think. If you are just now tuning in, don't be afraid to hit that like button. It's completely free. It also helps the channel grow. We got 21 viewers and 10 likes, so make sure you guys hit that like button. It really does help. You got Stellar Lumens. Stellar Lumens is another one. I know I don't talk about it much, but it's also seeing a pretty big substantial drop here. It's more than likely going to see a similar pattern to what we're seeing here on XRP with the ups and downs, kind of being choppy. This would be the trend line and the neckline of the head and shoulders on Stellar Lumens. That would also break it down below the support. Breaking below this support here would also indicate a bigger drop according to the daily chart, which could fill the gap down to around the 13 cents. That would be roughly around 6 to 7% as well, if not a little bit more. So that's something to pay attention to. Shiba Inu's volume today actually has been holding up super well. Same a lot with meme coins. Solana's down roughly 7% today. Is probably the biggest on my watch list here on the daily. Solana has absolutely broke down below the support and sell off. We're not wanting to sell off. We're not wanting to break below the Bitcoin support and the XRP support on the hourly and the 4 hours. So that's something that we have to pay attention to. The further you zoom out, the more volatile it looks, for sure. I don't really know much about that velo. I really don't. I don't really know much about it to really be able to give any analysis on it. Enjoy life. I still would love to see XRP kind of pop off, but it's really struggling here. Because right now you got Onyx Coin, you got BNB, you got Ethereum Classic. All of these are starting to move. Litecoin currently down around 3.3%. Crow Coin's currently down 4%. OXT's down 5%. Silver and gold. So silver had a pretty big drop here. Just dropped roughly around 0.5%. Starting to drop pretty hard here. Gold still down around 1%. Trying to see if we're seeing any big liquidation orders. It looks like we're still in Bitcoin season, still in extreme fear. within the market. Yeah, 181,000 traders been liquidated in the last 24 hours. Over $878 million liquidated. Yeah, the Clarity Act's going to help a lot of investors kind of get into crypto. I really do think so. But, I mean, any kind of regulation is going to be positive and negative. So, it's kind of can be sometimes good or bad. If you take a look at XRP, you can see that it's been dropping quite a bit here. Also, the S&P 500, so stocks are tanking right now. A lot of the stocks that were green earlier has now flipped over to red. S&P 500 now down over 1%. Take a look at Coinbase stock. Coinbase stock has fallen over 8% on the daily here. So Coinbase stock has dropped 8%. AMD lost over 17% today. Robinhood lost almost 10%. So these are huge crypto brokerages and stock brokerages. Look at Solana. Solana dropped below that $90 for the first time that we have seen in a very long time, ever since January of 2024. So dropping down below probably around the $80, we could potentially see Solana drop much further than what we expect today. But I would love to see us bounce off of this support on Bitcoin and XRP though. Right now, if you take a look at the 4-hour, you can kind of see we had some kind of recovery here, but then we're kind of getting faked out. I think it's going to be a huge liquidity grab and based off of catalyst here on the short term. All of our major catalysts about the economics in the United States and some other countries won't be until around February 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. I know that they recently had moved the January CPI report to February 13th, and they moved the job employment report until February 11th. So until this time next week, so next Wednesday and Friday, that's whenever we'll have more economical news. Solana still testing that $90, dropping below it very quickly, so a lot of orders are being triggered more than likely. Litecoin wanting to fall, and same with XRP wanting to drop below this $1.50. We are at a major support. I think $1.41, $1.42 XRP is going to be something that we might see if we continue around this same trajectory that we're seeing right now. If you are just now tuning into the stream, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. It also helps the channel grow. So make sure you guys hit the like button for me. It continues to allow me to be able to do this for free. H-bar is continuing on the downside here. Same with ICP, Bonk. So you got Dogecoin. Dogecoin's bouncing back and forth. The biggest concern here is breaking below Bitcoin 72K. So whenever you take a look here at Michael Saylor's position, he is currently down 4.79% on his average Bitcoin reserve, roughly down over $2.6 billion today. So his current Bitcoin reserve is showing a net loss of around $2.6 billion if he sold today. His average cost is $76,000 Bitcoin, and he owns over 713 today. We're still in extreme fear, guys, so really pay attention to that. Crypto market cap $2.46 trillion, and trading volume is currently still pretty low at around $176 billion in 24 hours. ETFs are also showing a pretty big loss for the last 30 days. Only 5 bullish days in the last 30 according to the ETFs. Yesterday, over negative 272 million in Bitcoin ETFs were pulled out. As we get closer to the support, you guys can really tell we're just bouncing back and forth. We are just pretty much bouncing back and forth. I think Bitcoin could easily drop below 71,000. Once we drop below 70,000, I think that 66,000 is going to come into play very quickly. I think it's going to be a retest of around the 82,000 Bitcoin eventually. We will see more than likely a retest. Currently have over 35 viewers and only 15 likes. Hitting that like button helps a lot, guys. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you do subscribe. So it looks like gold, 4,900, currently down almost 1% on the day. Silver is at 0.4%. It also looks like the S&P 500 still bouncing around that 1% loss on the day. Coinbase stock lost over 8%, which is huge. Solana, pretty big rebound there from the $89 range. Remember, you're going to have a lot of people get liquidated and a lot of liquidity grabs within the crypto market right now, as a lot of people is using high leverage trying to catch the bottom and catch some of these supports, trying to trade it up to the resistance there. So that is something that we will see over time, guys. So you'll see a lot of people bring in a lot of leverage. You'll see a lot of liquidity, and then you'll see a lot of leverage coming in at high rates. Right now, as we get closer to the $1.50, a lot of people will be ordering a lot of high leverage trades. That's going to be a good indication for the exchanges to liquidate more longs or more shorts. And then the people that ain't taking profits on their short positions, they can get it more likely to 82K, and people will FOMO back in. So psychology plays a huge factor inside of the market. And with the psychology within the market, we are seeing a lot of people FOMO, panic sell, take profit, and so forth very, very quickly. Which, I think if you take profit too soon, it's better than not taking profit and losing a lot of that profit. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. It's just entertainment purposes only. So make sure you do your due diligence. Comment down below. Let me know if you think we're going to drop below this support here. I still think that there is a high chance we're more than likely going to drop below this support. We are getting closer to the 4-hour candle close. We're also getting closer to the hour close as well. This is going to be probably the biggest candle in the last few hours that we've seen, dropping back closer to where we was at on January 31st, around 4 days ago. Dropping below this could be a big signal here that the market is going to continue to be bearish. S&P 500 still down. Gold and silver just up and down very, very quickly. Not really seeing much activity. Yeah, I still think that they're wanting to try to liquidate a lot of the shorts that's inside the market. Right now, a lot of people's been playing the market. The market is being played at high levels today. You can see Ethereum is also testing on that 1 hour, trying to stay above where we had dropped earlier on yesterday, around that 2088 range. I still think that we're going to hold much more below that if we continue around the same trend that we've seen on Bitcoin, that we've seen on Ethereum. So staying above 73,000 is best case scenario for the hourly chart, but dropping below it could indicate the same thing that I've been speaking about earlier, that we're more than likely going to see that major pullback coming a lot quicker than is expected. XRP Bitcoin has been pretty much holding strong around this same support, 72,000 and $1.50. XRP could see around that $1.42 if it drops down below it, if not going a little further, as I still think that there is a lot of price action to see within the market. But I think we're going to see a liquidity grab and try to wipe out a lot of the shorts probably within the next 72 hours. Once we start to see around what's going to happen with this support, if we go back to the resistance, that's going to push it pretty hefty and move it very quickly, like we had seen on January 31st, where we moved 7-8% really, really quick. It happened within 10 minutes. It liquidated a lot of shorts. Chainlink, I think Chainlink is going to do good in the long term, Alley Cat, but with Chainlink's price, it's going to follow Ethereum. Ethereum has been taking a lot. If you take a look at the weekly on Chainlink, you can see pretty much in the standard it goes up and down a lot during the runs, but during the bearish activities, it does drop quite a bit compared to a lot of these other stable coins. I hope to see Chainlink above that $20 range again eventually. But for right now, I do think Chainlink is going to go further down. Chainlink is one of those ones that follow Ethereum, and it's not really got a lot of catalysts incoming for it. So it can really be a hit or miss. But during the bull runs, it does move around 200 to 300% compared to Ethereum's 100%. But it does drop much harder than that. So that's something to really pay attention to. Back in like 2016, that's whenever we seen major drops within the markets. A lot of the altcoins had seen huge lows that they haven't seen in a very long time. And I think that we could be seeing something like that again. I really do. I think we could be seeing something like that again. If you are just now tuning in to the stream, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. It also helps the community grow. Currently have 46 viewers and only 17 likes. Hitting that like button is free, but it also helps the channel grow. So make sure you guys do hit that like button for me here. Looks like Ethereum and Bitcoin is starting to get alerts on like Coinbase, BitUnix. So I say people's probably looking at their portfolios today. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that $1.50 is going to be broke on XRP and that 72,000 Bitcoin? I say we're getting super close to it. I mean, you take a look at the hourly chart here. You can see the drop within the last 4 days. And we're more than likely getting back to that same kind of position that we haven't seen in quite a while. I could see XRP coming down below that $1.50, retesting that $1.42 maybe before the rebound this time. I still think that with the extreme fear inside of the market, I think a lot of people's kind of panicking with the loss and the new holders coming into the market. The ones that are probably down 50 to 40% are pretty much panicking. Definitely if they're not used to this volatility like the crypto market has seen. Crypto market is usually really volatile compared to like stocks and crypto. But lately, even stocks have seen huge volume and volatility. You can see that the S&P 500 is still even falling, currently almost 1.1%. AMD stock has fallen over 17% today. Robinhood stock, so Hood, has lost over 10% on the day. And Coinbase stock, so Coinbase is really big into crypto, currently down over 8.3% on the day, which is huge. That's a huge number for it. So it's probably expecting more of a drop on Bitcoin. And it's expecting more of a drop on cryptos in general. Right now, the market is it's just up and down. I mean, that's the best way to really put it. You're going to have a lot of new traders coming in, definitely FOMO and panic selling, and that's probably going to be the biggest thing that we're seeing today. We're seeing a lot more people panic. You know, we're getting into more fear within the markets and the economics. If you really take a look at, you know, some of the things that we've seen in the last few days, the government shutdown ending, and we still dropped quite a bit just off of that. I know even today we had some news on crypto from the U.S. Treasury. He said that he does not have the authority to use taxpayer funds to buy Bitcoin. He also said that whenever he was testifying in Congress today, the asset seizure, that $1 billion of Bitcoin was seized, $500 million was retained, and that $500 million has become over $15 billion. So that's a pretty big number. and it was seized by the U.S. government. He also said earlier today, too, that the tariffs do not cause inflation. And he also said that it cannot bail out Bitcoin like the U.S. Treasury. So that's something else that we've seen that's kind of negative to Bitcoin. But that is to be expected. You know, when you come into the markets like these, you don't really want somebody using taxpayers' money to buy, an asset. If you are just now tuning into the stream, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Looks like Bitcoin's trying to get closer back below that 72,000. Let's watch as Bitcoin starts to hit some new lows here. I think we're going to get closer to dropping below that 72,000 support, retesting around that 66,000 eventually. I think we'll go through a consolidation phase, and the price action is going to be very slow, not really much moving. I think that's something that we're going to see probably within the next few days. It even looks like Dogecoin's not really moved as much. Cardano has lost quite a bit ever since it hit its all-time high. December of 2024, it hit the all-time high of around $1.32. It's currently down over 78% just within 430 days. Trump coin has been pretty bearish within the last, basically ever since it was created. Pepe's been doing super good. I mean, Pepe's had a pretty big loss as well if you take a look at it on the daily. It's holding up above the support and holding up during this dump today pretty nice. Only down roughly around 0.5%, as most other altcoins are down around 2 to 5%. Yeah, we keep retesting this $1.50 and that 72,000 Bitcoin. Once we do break down below it, I think we're going to see a little bit of a liquidity grab. But I mean, anytime we start to kind of bounce here, I say that's going to give more opportunity for a lot of people to get liquidated. The market is really the big thing here today that we're seeing. Let's go to the 15-second chart. You can see the cryptos move pretty quickly here. It looks like the NASDAQ just dropped roughly around 2% as well. S&P 500's moved up just a little bit here. AMD's climbed a little bit. Same with Coinbase stock. Losing 8% on a stock is pretty big. See, we broke down below the trend on the 1 hour earlier today, too. So that's why I think we're going to continue to see these moves around the $1.50 to 72,000. Eventually breaking down below the support. People will be coming back from lunch, usually in about the next 15 to 20 minutes. And I think that's whenever we're going to see a little bit more volume and volatility here. Even BNB's down 5% today. Same with Crowcoin. Crowcoin dropped to roughly around 4%. The problem with Crow Coin right now is what we're seeing is going to be that double top. It's currently at a level where it could drop even as low to 7.3, which would be huge. With Michael Saylor losing over $2.1 billion in his Bitcoin reserve, he's probably panicking right now. Yeah, you can see right here he's down over 2.5 billion US dollars. His position is down 4%, which is pretty big. He owns over 713,000 Bitcoin, which is pretty big. You can see the market cap is still sitting around 2.46 trillion. And liquidations are at 861 million in 24 hours. Over $112 million worth of longs liquidated just within the last hour. So that's something to kind of really pay attention to. If you are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Hitting that like button really helps the stream. Also, let me know what you all think. Right now, the market is a little bit back and forth. Kind of just waiting to see how this plays out. Everybody's hoping for a bounce. Looks like Solana still down 6%. Still got some pretty big price action coming. Looks like Bitcoin retesting that 72,000 again here. Just kind of watching it play out. Just take a look at the 15-second. Be able to see it in quicker time here. Back down to $1.51 here on XRP. Very short-term move. Right now it's just a waiting game. Last 15 minutes, you can see that it's slowly been dropping every 15 minutes. We just closed on the hourly and another 15-30 minute time frame there a few minutes ago. So now we just got to ride the wave. Looks like gold has dropped to 1.5% loss. Silver has started tanking a little bit more here on the 15 minute. I don't really do much with this crypto. I don't really know if it has any big catalyst. But I mean, if you really take a look at like the 4-hour chart, you can see it's lost over 50% from the high, at the start of the year here. from January. So within just the last 29 days, it's lost over 50%. So it's lost pretty big chunk. But at the same time, you know, it's going to follow along with the overall crypto market. You can tell it's very volatile, so it's really up and down. When the market pumps, it does really good. It's got really good returns compared to some other altcoins and cryptos, but it does fall harder during the bear market. That's basically what I know about this crypto. You can even see, you know, back in January 2025, it hit that $5 range, which would be almost a 400% change from here to get back to that. But within just the last year, you can see that it's dropped over 80%. So it's something that you really got to pay attention to. So it's going to be a timing of like an entry and an exit standpoint for me whenever I look at that crypto. Oh yeah, Michael Saylor right now is down over 2.5 billion. The whole crypto market is just playing around right now. I really do think that. I think the whole crypto market still has a lot of room to grow and to gain a market share too. Bitcoin's number one leading right now, but at the same time, not everything follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is only like 50, I think it was 58% when I looked. So only 58% kind of follows Bitcoin, 10% Ethereum, and then the rest is around 30%. They kind of off on their own. We're still in the extreme fear, according to the crypto market cap. Over 170,000 traders liquidated today. I wonder if we're going to have another big liquidation event if we do drop down below 70K Bitcoin. I say it's very, very likely. If you are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Make sure you do check out the Crypto.com exchange with the link that is in the pinned comment, also that I just commented down below. The first 50 signups will get access to VIP for free just by signing up under my link, so make sure you check that out. If Ethereum falls below that $2,000 range, I really do think that it's going to see a massive, massive shift. Because right now it's hit around that 2088 range. It's dropped to exactly where we was at here on June 2025. But if we feel this gap go down below that 1805 on Ethereum, I could see that a lot of traders are going to panic. Because right now, if you've invested above $2,100 in Ethereum, so that's within the last 4 to 5 years, your more than likely position is going to be in a red position for Ethereum, as Ethereum's kind of just been consolidating now for years. Because if you look at it here, if you picked it up anytime around these levels here back in 2021, even 2022, 2024, 2025, a lot of your positions here are going to be red. A lot of early investors are still holding their Ethereum. I do think Ethereum in the long term could be something that surprises a lot of investors. Same with Litecoin. I still think Litecoin is going to play the silver to the gold, which is Bitcoin. And right now, Litecoin is down pretty bad as well. You can see just within the market, has its ups and downs, definitely within 2021 and 2018. Back in 2018, it squeezed up to 420. It also squeezed again June of 2021, roughly around that 420 range again. We haven't really seen a big pump like that within probably the last 3 or 4 years on it, which, I mean, if we see that kind of pump again on it, I think a lot of people will FOMO and panic sell back into LTC and classify it again as a silver to the gold. Litecoin also is pretty active on X too, which has something going for it. If you are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Hitting that like button really does help out the stream, guys. It also helps the community grow. Comment down below. Let me know what you all think. Is there any other cryptos you want me to take a look at? S&P 500 looks like it's trying to recover some. Robinhood stock still struggling. AMD down 16%. Coinbase stock still down at 7.7. Silver is just up and down. Pretty big moves today. Silver is very volatile. Same with gold today. So the uncertainty is probably still high. That's good, Eddie. Yeah, a lot of people, they FOMO'd in definitely at the top. Emotional investing can really be impactful on trades. So definitely whenever your entry and exit matters a lot. Definitely in these markets where there's such high volatility and volume. So much stuff changes so quick. And that's what a lot of people, they kind of miss out on. Timing is key when it comes to crypto. Entering a futures trade, also timing can make or break your trade. That's why sometimes it's really hard for traders to signal, basically. Remember, none of this is financial advice, guys. I am not a financial advisor. Entertainment purposes only. Flare, I mean, it's going to follow a lot of smaller cap coins. I think right now it's going to still see that big drop behind it. Pretty big drop here on XRP here on the short term. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you do check out crypto.com exchange. Sign up with my link down below in the description or the pinned comment, and you'll be able to get access. You'll be able to get access to the VIP for free. All you got to do is make sure that you click the link, sign up with the referral code Josh's Finance in it, create it with the email. Whenever you sign up, you can get my private Discord and indicator for free. All you got to do is let me know, and I'll be able to get that for you. You just got to sign up using my link down below. It also works for BTCC and BitUnix, so make sure you do come and check it out. Links down below in the description. See, with Flare, it's going to follow along with a lot of the other cryptos. I mean, it's going to be a smaller cap coin, so it's something that you got to play it as. You know, they have their times whenever they really make it or break it. XRP is trying to get back down to its support here. Michael Saylor's position still down 2.5 billion just on the day. Look at that pretty big candle here. Pretty big jump. Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's having a pretty big jump right here on the minute. That's what I'm talking about, liquidity grabs. Looks like we're seeing one right now. I would like to see a rebound. We also have lunchtime. People's probably more than likely coming back for lunch, so that's something that we can anticipate too. Yeah, XRP struggling here too. Same in the same area. If you are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Looks like Shiba Inu's also seeing some volume here. Solana looks like it's wanting to come back down. S&P 500 starting to hit a little bit more red, so we may end up seeing another drop here on the short term. $15 still ain't looking too good on XRP here. Not had a green candle since market opened this morning, closing on the 15-minute. Stellar Lumens looks like the same thing. First seen a doji candle and then two big red candles right behind that. Bitcoin's back below that 72. Let's see how it's going to play out here on the short term. Three-minute chart looks like it could be forming a cup and handle. Yeah, Shiba Inu, Stellar Lumens, and XRP does pretty good. I used to be a real big fan of Shiba Inu back in the day. I think Shiba Inu has really struggled a lot within the last few years. I still hope an XRP will also make the same kind of recovery too. I would love to see Shiba Inu pop back off, but I think that the developers on it really made it struggle. Looks like Chainlink's getting ready to go below that $9 range here on the short term. XRP going above that $3 would be a pretty big jump. That's literally a double from where we're at today. It would take a 2x from where we are today to get to that $3 range. Yeah, I still think we're kind of early in crypto. I think a lot of the volatility scares a lot of people, but eventually I think the volume is gonna pick up, and when it does, that's when a lot of people FOMO in. They FOMO in when it's doing good. It's because they don't really realize what they're kind of really investing in and how it plays out. Recovery back to that $3 range, I mean, you would have to have a pretty big catalyst for that to do that right now. Right now, the volume is just so low for it. I think a lot of people know about XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. I think we need some regulations. And whenever the Clarity Act comes, that could be bullish for us. But the thing with XRP getting back to $3, we're going to really need to see a bull market all over because a 2x from where we are is quite a bit. Yeah, right now everything is just so slow. Everybody's kind of waiting on the big moves to start playing out. I mean, we still have a little longer for the Clarity Act for it to kind of come into play. I mean, you got crypto exchanges, you got big people talking about it with the president and also with the bill itself. But, I mean, it's something that I think is going to still take a while. I mean, they have to figure out rules and regulations on more than just, Bitcoin or Ethereum XRP. It's got to be talked about with meme coins. Is it a security and so forth? Because the SEC's already declared that meme coins are not a security. See, institutions and stuff's just now getting in. We're just now getting ETFs. All them things come into play. Yeah, a lot of people are down. If you really think at the top investors of this bull run on XRP, when XRP is $3.66, people are down over 58% 200 days. 58% is a pretty big loss, definitely within the market nowadays. That's why your entries and exits have to be precise, and that's why you got to really understand how the charts work and how the market moves in general. If you don't understand how the market moves, you're going to just be going off of emotion. Yeah, a lot of people will definitely be shaken out. They already are. Everybody is seeing that right now. Crypto is all about timing. I mean, that's the thing. If you're playing futures, if you can understand how price action works and how traders make money, and then you'll understand more about how it actually folds out and how it comes into play. Futures trading is all about leverage, timing, entries, and exits. Right now, 58% drop on XRP is pretty big. That's honestly the biggest thing we're seeing right now is how many people's kind of panicking and FOMOing in. People are still investing at pretty big, hefty rates right now. Our trading volume is currently $177 billion. Our crypto market cap is $2.76 trillion. And if you really think about it here, $178 billion volume with $2.46 trillion market cap. If you go back to the peak of when XRP was pumping, Bitcoin was pumping, our crypto market cap was $4.28 trillion. I still think that there's a lot of room to grow. We've lost $1.7 trillion market cap just in cryptos. So you got the fear and greed index too. The fear and greed index is indicating a 14 out of 100 extreme fear. This is one of the lowest times that we have seen. It was April 2025 and November of 2025. So we're getting to some pretty big lows here. The RSIs are currently low. We've only had 5 bullish ETF days in the last month, 25 red days in ETFs. So you can kind of see the picture here that the market is coming up and down. Liquidation's been pretty high levels. We hit number 10 on the highest liquidation day just a few days ago. Within the last 24 hours, over $830 million liquidated, 100 million longs liquidated just in the last hour. If you look at the Bitcoin reserve value for Michael Saylor, he owns 713,000 Bitcoin, and he's at around a $2.2 billion loss right now. At one point, he was up almost 50 billion US dollars in his crypto position. So that's something to take a look at. Also, if you guys haven't, check the links down below. You can sign up with BTCC, BitUnix, Crypto.com. By signing up with any of those exchange links, you'll be able to get access to my private Discord, also my private trading indicator, which can help you predict buy and sells, also learn technical analysis. So make sure you do check that out with the link down below in the description. Gold at $3,000 again. I mean, whenever crypto pumps and stocks pump, and whenever there is going to be more stability within the markets, silver and gold is going to come down. You know, right now there's a lot of instability issues with Iran and the U.S., a lot of trade wars. That's why gold and stuff is really pumping. Yeah, Ethereum doesn't really pay anything on the APYs. That's why a lot of people stake or they just keep it in USDT instead of Ethereum. I mean, if you invested in Ethereum 4 years ago, you're more than likely still in the red. So you got to think about that too. So you could still be in the red. If you're just now tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Hitting that like button really helps the stream. It also helps the community grow and allows me to continue to do this. Looks like XRP is getting closer back down to the support of $1.50. We might be seeing that $1.42 or that bounce here shortly. I would like to see gold go back up though. But right now the stability is still quite pretty high. If you take a look at gold on the daily chart, you know, we picked up gold a while back. So our position currently on gold right now is 82% just within the last year. Silver, we've traded it. So we've been in and out of silver a little bit more. We picked up silver there, sold it for around 42%. We picked it up again here, and we're currently up around 82% within just 71 days. Silver usually gives higher returns than gold. Gold, it has more stability with it. Slower moving usually, but gold has been super bullish lately. It's all based off of market conditions when it comes to precious metals. But once the market stabilizes and a lot of the fear goes away, that's when gold and silver will start to come down a little bit. Right now, a lot of trading is happening on silver and gold because that's where a lot of the trading volume is. We're not seeing as much trading volume on crypto because you got to think prediction markets, precious metals, stock market is at an all-time high. Bitcoin's at 73,000, XRP's at $1.50, Ethereum still at that 2080. Super slow volume. We'll probably start to see more movement around 4 o'clock Eastern time whenever stocks start to close. Dogecoin at around 10 cents. I'd like to see it drop below 10 cents. You also got Solana still around that $90 range. Pretty big drops recently. If you're just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Let me know down below what you all think of the market. Do y'all think we're going to be bearish or bullish today? I still think that we're going to see a little bit of a rebound, but it's going to matter if we drop below this support or not. This support is going to be something that is going to be a key indicator to a lot of traders what's going to be happening next. Yeah, that $1.50 support is major. Dropping below it, we'll more than likely see around that $1.42. Yeah, that would drop us probably around the $1.42. That's where the next Fibonacci retracement is at 0.382. Looks like Bitcoin's trying to make that V-shaped recovery. It'd be nice if we see it here. Ethereum's got a short-term double bottom here, so that W pattern looks like same thing on XRP here, getting closer to the neckline. Same with the 1 minute on Solana, which ain't going to make too big of moves. 15 minutes still downtrending. I would like to see it kind of get closer back to that 93, 94. That would also be putting Bitcoin back near its resistance here around that 74.5. Same with Ethereum. That would put it around roughly around this 2140 range, which we kind of had struggled here with. So these are pretty big things. You can see that Pepe kind of made its V-shaped recovery, not moving as much on the day, but it's also seeing a nice little jump. Gold is also kind of seeing kind of a short-term rebound. Silver is now up around 1.3%. Stocks have moved roughly around 0.3% here on the S&P 500. AMD is still down quite a bit. Coinbase stock has pumped roughly around 1%. Same with Robinhood stock. It moved around 1% as well. $1.52 XRP. Last 5 minutes been pretty good. We just crossed on the moving average as well. It's like a little bit of a pump coming here. So hopefully we can see it get closer to $1.57. Remember, none of this is financial advice, guys. I am not a financial advisor. It's just entertainment purposes only. Make sure to do your own due diligence. If you guys haven't, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Check out the links down below in the description as well. Looks like Solana is even increasing here. Nice little pump here on the short term. It even looks like Bitcoin's climbing a little bit here. This might be good for the market. Look at Pepe. Pepe is seeing a pretty big green candles right here. Crypto's volume is really the thing that needs to increase. Right now, the ETFs are still pretty negative this month. We're not looking too good. Fear and greed, we're still in extreme fear within the market. Little things like that, that's really making a big difference here on the short term. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum had a nice little pump here. Remember, none of this is financial advice. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think we're getting ready to see a pump here? Or if we're going to see another drop? Ethereum's got some pretty big green candlesticks, and they're kind of following right behind it as well. Pepe just pumped over 1% very quickly, though. Moved up pretty quickly. Looks like Bitcoin also seeing a little bit of slowdown here. XRP starting to see that little bit of a gain. Some well activity looks like it's starting to happen. Starting to get some bullish momentum coming from some of these exchanges too here. Shiba Inu, Solana, all that's moving up. Look at that. Pretty big candlestick there just for the 1 minute. Moved up roughly around 1% very quickly. I'd like to see if we continue. I want to stay above this support, though, of 72,000 Bitcoin and $1.50 XRP. Dropping below the $1.50 XRP and the Bitcoin can be big drop coming inside of the market. But we could also be seeing that rebound. Right now, it's any man's game. Liquidity is all over the place. There's around 52% worth of shorts, and there's around 48% worth of longs, and they are increasing. Yeah, everything's like bouncing up, clearing out the RSI just a little bit here, it looks like. We got 59 viewers, but we only have 31 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the stream. Also helps continue to allow me to be able to do this. Look how much Michael Saylor's position moves. He was down over $2.5 billion today on Bitcoin. Right now, he's only down roughly $1.8 billion. So that's a pretty big amount of money he moves very quickly. 1% is like 600 million, which is a lot of money to be moved just by 1%. As he owns 713,000 Bitcoin alone. His average cost is $76,000. Fear and Greed Index still indicating extreme fear. We're also seeing over 158,000 traders liquidated in the last 24 hours. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you do check out Crypto.com exchange with the link down below in the description. It is also going to be in the pinned comment section. The referral code is Josh's Finance. If you do use my link, you do get VIP access on the Crypto.com exchange for free just by using my link, so make sure you do check that out. Also, if you do sign up with any of the links down below in the description, you do get access to my Patreon for free. You do get access to the Discord and the Trading View Indicator for free as well. So make sure you do come and check that out. The link down below in the description. Yeah, leverage trading can ruin the market, and it can also inflate the market as well. Like, you got to think, during the time whenever we was really pumping, we was going pretty hard. That was the thing. We was going pretty hard with the market. You know, leverage trading was at a peak. You know, trading volume was all over the place. People was getting super excited within the market. We was getting new users. we was hitting new all-time highs on cryptos, Bitcoin, XRP, getting super close to a lot of these positions. So you can kind of see how it can have a negative effect and a positive effect. Look at Pepe. Pepe's moved over 2.5% very quickly, making that short-term rebound. We might see more volume coming closer to 4 o'clock as stock market will close. Pepe is really moving money today. Also, I just want to thank every one of y'all for tuning in and watching. If you guys haven't, check the links down below in the description. Join the free Discord. Also, if you want to get private access to the private Discord where I post my trades, post news, everything like that, make sure you do come and check it out. The link down below in the description. Just want to thank every one of y'all for tuning in and watching. If the market makes any bigger moves today, I will be going back live and making a video. So make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.